Well, it's been an extraordinary week, hasn't it, so far? For starters, today, confirmation hearings were conducted on the Obama administration's nominee for Secretary of State, replacing Hillary Rodham Clinton, Mr. John Kerry. Now, 42 years ago, Mr. Kerry, a decorated Vietnam vet, ironically showed his great opposition to the Vietnam War. And 9 years ago, during the 2004 presidential campaign to defeat George W. Bush for a second term, John Kerry ran for president as a Stop the War in Iraq candidate. However, in the last 2 weeks, he decided to switch positions. Now, I understand Barack Obama's reasoning for this. It's about redemption. But my advice to John Kerry and his supporters are this. Go not by what you say. Watch and go by what you do. That's a very important statement for John Kerry. And he's talking about nuclear weapons development over in Iran. And today, the North Korean government has threatened to use the United States as a target for its own nuclear tests. And that's all over the news. And, more importantly, some good news has been made in the government this week. On Tuesday, the day after his public inauguration, Barack Obama signed 2 very important bills for a second administration. A national gun control bill and a climate control bill. These are issues that are really too big to discuss in one video and will be discussed separately later, at least when it comes to climate control, since I've pretty much discussed the idea of gun control very thoroughly. And gun control and gun prohibition are 2 entirely different things. Thank you very much, my detractors. I just wanted you to know that. And I know it's hard to get that through some of your heads. I mean, sometimes it's even hard to get things like that through my head, but it's the truth. Control and prohibition of firearms in the United States of America are not the same thing. Obama is talking about gun control, not gun prohibition. Okay? And not only that, I listened carefully to Obama's words on his inauguration. And I heard what he said about uniting America. He's been maintaining that all along. That we cannot get along in this country with 1% of people wielding political powers making all the decisions, and that is not communism. That is good, functional democracy. Obama is not a communist. He is not going to implant chips in our arms and try to monitor this country to make sure that we're spending our money the right way or carrying the right firearms or whatever. You know, this is not a fascist administration. I can't make it any clearer than that. And some wonderful news also hit me today that had nothing to do with the government. I learned after reading Yahoo News that 3 homecoming king nominees in a Tennessee high school have already decided that whoever wins among them, they will officially give the crown to a man named Scotty Maloney, who suffers from Williams disease, which causes speech and developmental problems. Because he's a nice person and they care about him. Now, from homecoming kings or popular people going to school in my day, that kind of outreach would be unthinkable, even to save face. They wouldn't do it. And you'll say, oh, they're just doing it to get in the news. Well, maybe so, but even so, that is a tremendous leap. And as far as cynicism in society is, you know, I've faced a lot of it myself recently. You know, people have been very much discriminating against me because of my opinions, because of my philosophies of life, and the way I live it. And that goes for a lot of other people in the world as well. And to them, I am going to paraphrase what the Reverend Jesse Jackson spoke to thousands, perhaps 1 million people at the Wattstax concert in 1971-2. He went in front of the audience and made a speech about jazz and soul and all these musics being interrelated in one basic core. But he also said, raising his fist up in the air in that manner, that you may be poor, but you are somebody. You may be on welfare, but you are somebody. You may be unskilled, but you are somebody. Well, I'm going to paraphrase that for the modern age. You may not be in college, but you are somebody. You may be homosexual, but you are somebody. You may be disabled, but you are somebody. I may be all of those things, but I am somebody. And all of you out there who are angry at yourselves and want to impart their anger on somebody else because of it, just remember, they are somebody and you are somebody. And that's my message for the day. You are somebody.